The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Almost a month into office, President Bongbong Marcos has vetoed yet another bill. In a statement, Press Secretary Trixie Cruz Angeles says Marcos Jr. thumbed down the proposed measure seeking to strengthen the office of the Government Corporate Counsel. She explained that the president found many of its provisions overbearing, including the excessive grant of incentives, benefits, and honoraria to OGCC lawyers, and the grant of supervision and control over legal departments of government corporations. The bill will now be brought back to Congress for redeliberation. Now, meanwhile, it's business as usual for Executive Secretary Vic Rodriguez as he prepares for President Marcos's first SONA on Monday. Marcel Halili with the report.
Para kayo nakakita ng multo, but I'm just here. I hardly go out of my office.
This was the response of Executive Secretary Vic Rodriguez following reports that he already filed his resignation barely a month in office. Based on an online article, a religious group has supposedly complained to the president about Rodriguez. Rodriguez's camp allegedly asked 100 million pesos in exchange for government positions, but the executive secretary strongly denied these allegations.
If it's a fake news or bordering on chismis or marites, I don't think it is proper for anyone, whether a government functionary or an ordinary person, to be asked and made to explain. Ang dapat siguro magpaliwanag niyan, go to the source, sino nag-post niyan, ano ba ang sources mo niyan, pakipaliwanag mo nga.
When asked about what could make him consider leaving the post, Rodriguez says he does not even want to think about it.
I don't want to think about it, but of course, for health reasons, of course, family reasons, but other than that, that's why I'm saying I don't want to think about those reasons, because I do not want to get sick. And the moment you cite that as a reason to your employer, something must be seriously wrong with your health.
Despite the rumors about his resignation, Rodriguez continues to assist President Marcos in preparing for his first State of the Nation address set on Monday. Rodriguez said it's the president himself who's writing his own speech.
He's the one writing his SONA message, and he will be very busy. Yesterday, we tried to relax already his schedule so he can write, but ang dami pa rin mga trabaho.
The executive secretary said Marcos' speech will focus on national issues, including economic recovery and food security.
It is his vision for us not only to have food security, but food sovereignty, meaning we don't have to rely on much importation anymore.
For News 5, Maricel Halili, We Are One News.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The Macau government singles out Filipinos in daily COVID-19 testing requirement in a bid to curb the rising number of infections in the area. More details in this Bloomberg interview.
Very interesting development in Macau late yesterday. So obviously they're about to reopen the casino sector there, which is the bulk of the economy, obviously being welcomed as cases really are coming down. But still an interesting tweak in the way they're deploying the mass testing there. They've said that anyone with a Filipino passport, so Philippine nationals, and even those that are Macau nationals but still have a Filipino passport, they have to be tested every single day. Now, they say that's because of the social patterns of this ethnic group makes them more vulnerable to spread and the virus, but it's obviously being criticised quite heavily and has sort of harkens back to some of the more questionable moves we saw earlier this year out of Hong Kong, which also unfairly, some said, targeted helpers and domestic workers there when it came to testing and sort of implying that those groups were responsible for more spread than other groups in the community.
We continue to see these high-risk, medium-risk areas being added in Shanghai. What does that mean in terms of the potential for returning to lockdown?
I think that they're very much trying to avoid, declaring a citywide lockdown, but that doesn't mean that they aren't locking down, as you said, a number of areas every day. We're seeing, 12 to 15 new areas, as they call them, and that can be an apartment block or it can be a neighbourhood locked down for new cases, or even just a close contact having visited the building can see it locked down for a number of days. So in effect, you are seeing vast swathes of the city actually locked down, shut down, people prevented from going out and about without them calling what would be a very contentious and heavily criticised, no doubt, citywide lockdown again. But the effect is kind of similar.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The Philippine Embassy in Tripoli, Libya, has warned Filipinos to remain vigilant following clashes between armed groups in the city. The agency reports that 13 people have been killed, but no Filipinos were hurt in the attacks. The COVID-19 positivity rate in Metro Manila has climbed to 14.6% as of July 20. The Octa Research Group says this is an indication of an increasing trend anew after recording a decline in the past days. And another round of oil price rollback is expected next week. Unioil projects that prices of diesel would decrease by up to 2 pesos per liter, while gasoline prices would be slashed down by up to 50 centavos. And for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.